Single mom stories are so important because when we're open and when we're vulnerable and we share what we've been through and how far we've come and the secrets of how we did it, we help another mother out. And that's what this podcast is all about. I'm bringing to you a client, a one-on-one coaching client that has gone through 2 of my courses. Metamorphosis is for newly single moms to reinvent their life. And then once we're done, we do Love Unlocked and getting ready to date and being open to love again. And Ilona is one of my gold star clients. And she said, sure, I'll come and share my story. This is going to be a huge inspiration to you, especially if you're afraid to date, especially if you feel really scared about things right now, especially if you feel kind of stuck. Ilona's story is going to be the inspiration you need to be like, well, maybe I can do it too. At least that's what I think, Ilona. I think you're incredible, by the way.
Thank you so much. You speak so kindly of me, and I'm feeling humbled.
Well, I feel confident, girl. Like you've done a lot of work since we began working together. So let's start there, okay? And then interrupt me if there's anything else you want to share.
Okay.
Before you and I started working together to coach you through your single mom life, what was your biggest challenge then? What was impacting your life the most before we started working?
Yeah, so before I came across your program, I just was like really feeling stuck for pretty much what became years. I thought it was just months, but it literally was years. And so just feeling really stuck in my career. And I hadn't even I did open a dating app for like a month when I was living in Florida, but it didn't really go anywhere. I was just feeling stuck in all sectors of my life, basically.
So stuck like in your, you said stuck in your career. Why do you think you were stuck?
Yeah, it's just, it was not any forward movement and just like staying at like the same pay scale for years. And I mean, I love like the work and the company, but like just kind of not feeling like I was moving forward in any way.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I think single mom life, it's just hard. We get it because I always said when I was raising my kids by myself, I was like a firefighter. I could only put out the fire that was burning the most in front of me, and I never seemed to be able to get ahead.
Exactly.
So you got to give yourself some credit for like, it's kind of supposed to feel that way until you get the help that you need, right?
It's like survival mode, like not thriving, but just surviving.
Yeah. So can you describe the moment that you realize, okay, something's got to change for the better here?
Yeah, let's see here. I guess just kind of feeling like I was in Groundhog Day where I'm like waking up, doing the same old, like, chores, like getting, like cooking, like work, daycare, drop off, pickup, and just like in this like hamster wheel. And it's like
Yeah.
super overwhelming. It doesn't feel like there's any movement in any direction. And like there was a loneliness too that came with it too, of just like, I mean, my mom helps me a lot with my son and everything, but not having just like support in ways I've had in the past in
And
relationships.
Ilona is a full-time single mom, meaning that your son's father not involved, you have 100% full custody, and you don't even get financial support, do you?
No, I decided against that just because it's a long story, but he's not a safe person.
Yeah. The Single Mom Collective, we're all about not forgetting the past, but we're about moving forward, future focus.
Yes.
So I like that we're like, okay, that happened. And I think that could become a block in our lives so much when we're living in the past that we have to let it go. So good for you. And we worked on that together.
Took time. That took like 2 years to even just heal that wound. But like, and then like to get a job and all that, like there was movement. But then like for a year or two now, or a year or two in the past, it was just starting to feel stuck again. But once I healed that wound of like my son's father, like I was able to like close that wound. But then now I've just been kind of stuck, or I was stuck again, if that makes sense.
And I can't remember, how did we find each other? How did you find me? Was it Instagram, the podcast? Like, what was it that you're like, wait, I think this person can help me?
Yeah, somehow I came across one of your reels on Instagram. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she's like speaking my language. Like, this is like, you just were like hitting every spot. Like, do you feel stuck in this, and this sector of your life? And I mean, I don't remember your exact wording, but I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like she's speaking to my soul. And then I followed you. And then I was like, I would like your posts every once in a while, but I was following you for like a good year, maybe 6 months to a year. And I know you messaged me a couple times. You're like, because I took a couple of your surveys that you had put up on Instagram. But I was like, I don't have money to do this right now. Like, I don't have money for coaching, even though I literally had savings, like that a lot of single moms don't have, or like anyone in general doesn't have savings. And so I kept pushing it away. Like, no, I can't do that right now. I don't have the money. But it was more so fear, I think, because coaching is amazing. It's super helpful.
What were you afraid of?
I was afraid that like I should have been, I was like, I shouldn't use that money like for my own selfish, like, oh, wanting to date again. That's so selfish. Like I need to use that money for like taking my son on an awesome vacation or like whatever else, like things that I'm needing to get at my house or whatever it is. And so it was fear of using that like money for coaching, and then like just what would happen with the coaching is I knew it was going to push me out of my comfort zone, and I wasn't ready for that.
Right. I hear you. Sometimes we're like, but when we think about it, actually, the most uncomfortable place to be is usually the current place we're in. And if we don't do
Absolutely.
anything about it, it's actually more uncomfortable to stay stuck than to decide to invest in yourself and do something about it. Like the end result
Absolutely.
of you being in the exact same position, if you're thinking, I'm kind of like that, I'm kind of like, is it's worse 6 months from now to be in the exact same spot. Or you could
Absolutely.
invest in yourself and be in a completely new spot in 6 months or less. And I think the transformation happens really fast. And also, I want to speak into something that Ilona said, because I hear that all the time. And I think it's not even single mom's fault. It's not even your fault. Like we're conditioned by our culture and our society that like there's some kind of shame about becoming a single mom. And because of that, we punish ourselves thinking that we can't do anything nice for ourselves. And we have to give it all to our kids. Like, well, I shouldn't buy nice clothes. I shouldn't wear nice makeup. I just have to completely sacrifice because I became a single mom. We're punishing ourselves. And it's also a false reward. Like our kids don't really want us to sacrifice for them. They want us to live our own life so they can live theirs, especially as they grow older. And the fact that it's best for your children if you invest in yourself. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. It reminds me of that saying that I've recently saw that's like the number one indicator of like your child having like growing up and having like a happy, successful life is how happy his or her mother was. Like I kept seeing that, on like reels and stuff. It's like it really does affect them. Like if you're down and out and like in this like stuck feeling and negativity, and which it's a daily practice of trying to get out of that, which I'm still working on. Like it's never just goes away. It takes a lot of energy to get out of that stuck and negativity, and just to like power through like one day at a time. So that, because as my kid's getting older too, he's 4 now, like he definitely picks up on my moods, where in the past, I mean, I'm sure when he was a baby, subconsciously, like he was picking up on it, but like now I see it like in reflection, or he'll say it like, be happy, mom. So it's like,
yeah.
If
you want your kids to be happy, you have to be happy first, and you have to do everything. What I say is you're the magic pill. Like if you knew if your kids needed a special medication and that medication, they were sick and they needed help, you would do everything you could to get that medication, right? Even if it was expensive. And if you knew that also that your happiness level is the number one indicator of your child's success, especially if you're a single mom, then hello, you're the magic pill.
Yeah.
It's you. And so then you're like, okay, what was it that you finally said, okay, I'm going to invest in myself? Because I have a feeling it probably wasn't as expensive as you thought.
No, it wasn't at all. Like, I think what helped is when you weren't pushy about it. Like, because I've had coaches in the past that are like pushy, but I just kept watching your reels, and they're really inspiring. And then you had messaged like one more time and you're like, I have this introductory call, like no strings attached, just you and me talking about your situation. We can figure out like if I can work with you. So it was like, what do I have to lose to do this call? I'm not like saying I have to put down any money. I'm just like literally talking to her and just seeing. And I was at this point where I'm just like, yeah, like what do I have to lose? Like it's not going to hurt anything to like have this call. And then like when you laid out like all of like what you help with and what your program is, it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, that is something I definitely need right now because I am doing therapy and meditation and journaling. Like I'm doing all the things, but there's no accountability. I think is the other thing is you were great during the program to have that accountability and also to have the community and the group messaging and being able to check in with other single moms and they're going through similar situations because oftentimes you feel so like where I'm living, it feels like everyone and their mother, no pun intended, is married.
Yes, right. I know.
And like it just feels so alone. So like it was just it was like a light bulb moment. Like, yes, this is something I need.
Good. What when you're like all the things that the program did? I'm curious. Maybe this is a selfish question, but I think it can help others. What were the things that you said, oh yes, I need that?
Yeah, definitely the accountability factor like helped a lot. And then there was so many things it's like hard to pinpoint like I mean like now that I've gone through it, like just the encouragement and like pushing me out of my comfort zone because otherwise I would just keep doing the same old thing or being scared to even try anything new. Like it's been amazing. I've had like a few interviews that have given me such good practice, and I even had a job offer. It wasn't lined up correctly with like what I was needing, but like there was just so many things that pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I grew like so much during the program, and it's now like kind of set within me where it's like now it's like a daily practice, and like also I like things you've said to me in our private coaching sessions like come back to me, so I feel like you were like a guide then, but like you're still with me. It's like a beautiful thing because like just kind of like Ilona, like you got this, and you're doing amazing things for your mom and your son, and like just the encouragement and stuff. And sorry, I'm going off like hopefully that all made sense.
I love it. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the specific things. What would you say? I have some ideas. I might brag on you because I have a feeling you might undersell yourself, but I want to hear from you first.
Definitely. I hate talking about myself.
I can brag on it for you, but I'm curious what you would say. What specific results do you feel like you achieved going through Metamorphosis Method, Love Unlocked, doing one-on-one coaching with me, and then being involved in our group, our online community, the Single Mom Collective? What have you achieved since we started working together? Can we quantify these results?
Yeah, so I literally didn't reach the exact number of what I was wanting to increase my monthly income. But however, I did each month in the program without even it was more of a mindset thing. It's kind of crazy. Like I didn't get a higher paying job. I didn't get a side gig, but money was coming to me. It was like through like random things through like my work was like, oh, we overpaid something on the 401k, so here's $700. And like I guess I did do one side gig thing with like dog sitting, but like I did actually quantify, like I can quantify, I did have an increase in my bank account each month that I was in the program. And it actually continues to happen now that I'm getting tax return back soon. And like even that is increasing. Just the encouragement from you too to like go get your eyebrows done, go get your hair done, like because I was just hoarding this money in savings, and it's like no, like I actually can utilize some of this for like self-care, which is really important. Like I'm doing all, like I always get like, new clothes and haircuts for my son, and I'd put, all my stuff on the back burner, and you encourage me like, Ilona, you have like, you're set up to be able to like do the self-care. And So yeah,
You started
quantify, and
taking
then I
really good
dated.
care of yourself.
I dated a
Yes.
couple guys. Yeah, and like I hadn't dated in 5 years. Like not, I should have taken that to the grave, but it had been 5 years since I'd been on a date.
So we increased your income and you started self-care, taking better care of yourself,
Yep.
doing what you needed to do with, I guess you said your brows and clothes. I remember us picking out outfits together and sending out
Yeah.
outfits, visualizing these just so you feel better about,
I wore
feel
a
more
dress
confident about yourself.
first time in like a long time, months.
You wore a dress for the first time.
Yeah, like on a date. Like I'm such a tomboy, but yeah, that was quantifiable.
And you also decided to start, instead of feeling stuck, because often what we do is when we feel, pinched financially, often what we do is we start holding back and we start cutting. And I said, well, why don't we just look to earn more money? And which wasn't a thought that you had before. So, and then you decided, okay, I'm going to go to look for a better paying job. And that's what, and you got job offers. And what I love about it is I would love to say on this podcast that you got a job that doubled your income. But I also think that hasn't happened yet, but I know it's coming. But what's amazing is you discovered your worth and you put yourself out in the job market that you hadn't done before, felt better about yourself with the way that you were taking care of yourself and dressing, went on the job interviews. And then when they didn't offer you as much money as you wanted, you had as much self-worth as you needed to be able to say, actually, no, I'm going to keep going and hold out to a better paying job. That was really powerful.
Yes, and that helped that you introduced me to all these amazing books, such as You Are a Badass at Making Money. I'm still reading
Love
this
that book.
one, and the other one by
Yeah.
Tori, I'm forgetting her name.
The Financial Feminist, Tori
Yes,
Dunlop.
The Financial Feminist. And that helped me to know how to navigate, which always gave me so much anxiety in the past about how to navigate like salary
You
negotiation.
negotiated a salary and you realized that this company wasn't going to give you what you were worth. And because of the confidence that I saw you achieve in the program, you were like, well, why would I go do that? That wouldn't make sense. I'm going to hold out for a better job because now I know my worth. Before, you might have accepted that position.
Yes, and mirroring that, like, sorry to jump the gun on this, but
Yeah.
same with the men I was dating. Like, in the past, I would have let these, like, it's a long story what happened, but I would have been with these toxic men for months, maybe even years. Definitely, I've had in the past years. So, like, it mirrored the dating aspect too, like, of putting a stop to it 2 months in. Like,
Yes.
no, this is not correct.
We elevated your picker to choose a high value partner. That's what I would say would be the transition. Instead of just allowing whoever said yes into our life, we're going to be more choosy. Because again, when your confidence grows, which is, I think, the biggest thing that I've seen in you in the past 6 months,
Thank you.
is that this huge, it's like almost like unlocked Ilona 2.0. Right? And seeing that unlocked and going, actually, I don't have to put up with somebody that's breadcrumbing me, somebody that's not willing to commit solely to me, somebody that's just not reliable and not even good at communication. Before, so many single moms, again, let's go back to that shame that they think they have. They feel like they have to accept less than they really want because they are a single mom. Instead of saying, no, I'm going to be even pickier because I'm a single mom, I deserve even more. And I saw you make that shift.
Yeah, thank you. I guess it's hard to see it when it's like happening, but since I was meeting with you weekly, it was really cool. Or was it weekly? Yeah, weekly.
So
you were able to see
you
it.
increased your income, opened up your worth, got the confidence to start looking for higher paying jobs, overcame fear of dating, and learned more about what you want as a high value partner that you can continue to implement. How did all of these changes in your life make you feel? What did it mean for you and how did it affect yourself?
Yeah, I think definitely like the confidence factor and just like knowing my worth and just, I don't know, I definitely see there has been like a difference where like that there's not as much of that negative energy that I had before and that stuckness. And I know it's like rubbed off on him, like, because he'll always be like, you look so pretty, mom, or you have such a good singing voice, which I don't, by the way, but like just little
I love
things. I
boys.
mean,
Just
like he's picked up on it, I feel like.
and do you think he's happier?
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
was definitely a really good investment.
Good. It meant a lot to your son. The changes made you feel better. So, and I'm just curious if you were, which I know you would, if you would recommend joining a single mom collective and doing one of our courses like Metamorphosis or Love Unlocked. How would you recommend that to a close friend or a family member? What would you say to them?
I actually have recommended it to one of my friends, Elizabeth. I sent her like the link, or a couple people actually, another acquaintance too, because
Nice.
they're also both single moms. And I'm like, I just highly recommend, like, you can find community here. You can find like exactly like the path that you're trying to go down, like to get the encouragement you need, and like just the cheerleader that you need in the background, because it really does make a difference. Like, therapy is great too, but like there's like a different element to this where it's like, well, therapy, you're like kind of going more in the path, and discussing like past things. And this is more about like forward movement, positivity. And yeah, I just highly recommend it because it's just super beneficial.
Thanks. Well, I would never say don't do therapy or this is better than therapy. Well, I just got
Yeah,
to make sure that I say that. Like, I think
definitely.
it's both. You're right. Therapy is
Both
great at
and
overcoming the past. And I think a coach is really great at moving them forward towards your future. So
yeah.
both are incredible, especially if you do them together or you finish therapy and
Yeah,
then you start coaching and you're like because we have to look at our life with a constant growth mindset. If we don't, we're going to stay stuck.
or
And all
go
we're going to use it
backwards. Like,
for, but it's true.
yeah, I
That's
feel like,
true.
which is kind of like always a fear of mine hovering over me. But seriously, like, your programs really helped me to hone in on that positivity and like that different mindset of just like everything's always working out in your favor type of mindset.
Was there any breakthrough moments that you can think about, like a moment during a coaching session that really stood out to you that you were like,
Yeah, let's see here.
or something you
Probably,
learned in the program?
yeah, probably the mindset thing of like, even though things like with certain jobs that I was trying to apply for like weren't lining up correctly, or like, I was running into like all these like roadblocks sometimes, but it was like the mindset shift is what really really like I noticed a huge difference, like going through the program, is just the mindset shift of like, I got that random paycheck like when I was like trying to increase my income, and because I kept believing like I'm going to get like more this month. I'm going to get more this month. And not to sound like super woo woo, because you do have to put in the work too, but just the mindset shift, because like I was really like feeling stuck and negative before joining the program.
Like we do like a morning system. I call it owning the first hour of your day,
Yes.
where, we set up all our alarms a little bit earlier. It's not the easiest thing in the world at first, but most of my clients then say, okay, now I can't live without this. So you
Yes.
start implementing it slowly and you're really manifesting. We're working on meditation and manifestation and positive affirmations
And
because
gratitude list, like
oh,
being
that,
grateful for what you have now too.
yeah,
Yeah.
tell me more. That's right. Every day we start with,
I still
uh,
definitely implement that. Like, if I can't get to like the Kaizen or like those steps that I'm doing for the day, I'm like, I at least definitely am making time for the gratitude list, because that's what helps shift the mind truly. Like, I mean, it's been proven, like they've done little like literal studies and stuff, like how gratitude lists, like a lot of like psychiatrists and therapists recommend it like at nighttime if you're struggling to go to sleep, like do a gratitude list. It's like, it's so beneficial.
I love that. I'm so
Yeah.
happy. Yeah, we do 10 things you're grateful for every single morning in the Single Mom Collective. And it's like 10 things, but really it's fun because when you focus on all that you don't have as a single mom, you're never going to feel like you have enough. There's a lot of things every human being, no matter what your relationship status is, you can say that you don't have. But instead, if the first thing you do in your brain before you check your phone or you turn on the TV, if you write down 10 things you're grateful for, you all of a sudden focus on all the things that you do have. And then if you know that you're going to do that every morning, I feel like then throughout your day, you look for the stuff that you can write down the next day. So
Yeah.
instead of focusing on how bad, you're actually looking for the good.
Yes.
You
That
can do that
shifts
right
me.
now. Like whether you decide to join the Single Mom Collective or do one of the courses, like just start writing 10 things you're grateful for. Like it sounds
Yeah.
silly, but it really will like make a huge impact. And then you did your pathways. That's the next thing is like, okay, what are some pathways? How are we going to move forward?
Yes. And like having like set goals each day, like applying for at least 5 positions per day. And yeah, just breaking things into instead of like before I had joined the program, it was like way overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, like I have never even dated someone in 5 years now. I haven't even job hunted in years. It just feels, but like breaking things into steps
Yeah.
is the trick.
How do you think your life has changed since working with me and joining the collective?
I feel that like my mindset has really shifted. Like even if I haven't reached all these specific goals I had, which I have reached some of them, but just the mindset thing, because it was definitely, I was feeling more stuck and I know I've said this a few times probably, but just like more in a negative mode. So that's been the biggest shift, I think.
So glad. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about your experience that I didn't ask you about?
Just that I love that you're doing what you're doing and following your dream of like helping others because you were in this. Like it's not like you're just someone that's never experienced this and you're like, I'm like, I don't know, I'm a leader and showing everyone that even though I haven't been in that situation, like you've been in it. And so like having that experience, it's just like so much wisdom and knowledge that you provide in the program. And I'm just so thankful that you're following your dream and doing this because it's helping so many.
Well, now you're in that position. Like now, what I think is, metamorphosis is kind of an analogy of how a caterpillar goes through a metamorphosis and turns into a butterfly. And when you graduate, you get your wings from metamorphosis. And then what do? Butterflies become pollinators and they go and they make the world more beautiful and spread more flowers. So now you've been through the process and now you can take on like you're just an extension of the program. Like you've already recommended it to other friends. You're like, no, let me help you. I've been there. And there's another new single mom that's probably going to come across your way that you
Definitely.
can take under your wings.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to inspire.
Get feeling really good. Thanks for your time. And
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks for
doing
having
this
me
with me.
on. This was really fun. And thanks for yet again getting me out of my comfort zone. Because when you asked me, I'm like, I don't know how to do a podcast, but that's what you're great at, pushing us out of our comfort zone.
And it's not scary, right?
No, it's just like talking to you like we're in our one-on-one.
Yeah. You're amazing. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
giving me an opportunity to go along with you on your single mom journey to reinvent your life and your journey to find love again. It's an absolute honor.
Thank you so much.